Hi, I'm Colbie Caillat, and you're listening to Maine Pod Girl.
Hey, welcome to Maine Pod Girl, a podcast made by Popheads for Popheads. Every episode, we'll be diving into all kinds of pop culture topics with some of our favorite artists and music commentators. I'm your host, AJ Marks.
I'm Molly Suter, your guest co-host for this episode. I am on the Pophead social media team, and I'm also a radio DJ. You guys might know me as Papa Molly.
Papa Molly. And today's special guest is someone who's been soundtracking our lives for over 15 years now. This platinum-selling, multi-Grammy award-winning musician has sold over 6 million albums worldwide and over 10 million singles, making her one of the top 100 best-selling music artists of the 2000s. You know her for her hit songs Bubbly, Realize, Lucky, Fallen for You, I Never Told You, Brighter Than the Sun, Try, so many. And let's all count her in. It's Colbie Caillat.
Hi, you guys. That was such a great intro.
Well, you have a great career, so I mean, couldn't have done it without you.
It's appropriate.
So let's start off with an icebreaker. What is everyone listening to right now?
Colbie, you can go first.
I love Post Malone, so
yeah, Chemical,
and then I just keep the playlist going because I'm obsessed with him. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was actually going to say Chemical for what I was listening to.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But you beat me to it. Yeah, no, that's such a great song. Bring out the acoustic guitar, Austin. I would love it.
He does the combo of that. It's like the coolest combination of genres and styles.
And he's got such an amazing voice and timbre for that. Like, it's so interesting to listen to. I'm listening to a lot of Chappell Roan. Cool. I love the new song Red Wine Supernova. I'm like completely obsessed with that. And then also the song Lost the Breakup by Maisie Peters, former Maine Pod Girl, who keeps delivering on songs with like incredible lyrics and just really joyous, like fun, poppy beats. And I couldn't appreciate it more. What about you, Molly?
I am listening to the newest Lizzie McAlpine album, which I think came out last year. I'm kind of really late to the game, but it's called 5 Seconds Flat. It's the one with ceilings on it, the viral TikTok song. And it's really good. I love it. It kind of reminds me of, if anyone here knows who she is, Mindy Smith, like circa 2004. Like really chill. I love it.
No, but I need to check these out for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to write down Mindy Smith.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into a little bit of Colbie's career. I'm going to start off with a really rogue question, actually, before we get into the new stuff. I want to know how you felt seeing for the first time your song being covered on Glee.
Oh, I mean, it's just so cool when you get to hear your song done, first of all, sung by someone else, but then done in a completely different way and all the harmonies. It's really cool to see what people can do with your song in any format that they cover it in. And then to be on that TV show, yeah, really special.
What was it like writing Lucky? Were you in the room with Jason? Was it adding harmonies afterwards?
No, not at all, which is so bizarre because that's normally how you write a song. But Jason and I we were both on tour and we were traveling different parts of the world. And I didn't know him. So he got my number from my team and he said he had this song idea and he wanted me to write it with him and duet it with him. But we had to send ideas over email back and forth. So we'd send voice memo things or type out lyrics and send the back and forth basically. And then I flew to London where he was recording his album and that's where we first recorded it. And then we recorded some more in California. That's crazy.
At any point, were you recording together or were you recording separately? Because it has that energy of you guys recording at the same time, you know?
No, yeah. In London, when we recorded the record, we were together. We were singing it together.
That's awesome. Cute. That's so cool.
You know, Jason had this idea. I'm assuming I think he started writing it in San Diego where he lives. And then, you know, I forget where I was because I was on the road every day. And my guitar player, Tim Fagan, he also wrote it with us. And Tim had the cool idea of that bridge part where you do like the counter melody back and forth. And so just, you know, the fact like 3 different people from different parts of the world, like Tim's from Hawaii.
Oh, I definitely get a little bit of that.
Yeah. Right.
That sounds like a really fun way to write a song. This just sounds like more like a hands-on process.
I want to touch a little bit more on the new stuff as well. So you're working on a new record. Are you still in the process of making it, or is it something that you're done with and you're just like kind of waiting to release it?
Yes, I've actually had it done for over a year and a half now. It's been finished, ready to go. I wrote all these songs during the pandemic, and I was going through all these life changes of growth and independence. And then I had the record done, but it was so fresh. And the songs are, this is a breakup album, but in a very optimistic, positive way.
Oh, you're great at that.
Well, that's life. Like, bad things are going to happen. Great things are going to happen. But I always try to look at the perspective of it. It's all temporary. And so, like, enjoy the good times while you have them. The bad times, they will pass. So I want that for, I think it's my own therapy to write it like that, like reminding myself it's going to be okay. And for the listener, I want them to feel that. But at the time, I think it was too fresh. I was thinking, like, how am I going to go out and sing these songs and promote these songs? Like, it's a little too new, and my heart was still healing. But now I feel ready, and I feel just excited for people to be able to hear these songs and heal through them.
Right. So after all this time away, what are you hoping to accomplish with this record?
My fans have been so sweet, and they've still been coming to my shows and listening to my music over the years. And they supported my country band Gone West when I did that project. And they've been asking for music for a while. And I didn't want to just put anything out, and I didn't want to just book a bunch of writing sessions just because. With this record, I really wanted to write when I had something to say and something to share. So I really hope it will just help be a soundtrack in their lives, whether it's love or heartbreak or newfound independence and freedom. The whole concept of this record is how things can end, but that also brings in new beginnings and to cherish those times you shared with someone. So I hope it's just a very therapeutic life record for the listener.
Speaking about your dip into country, you listen to country music, you had a country band.
You've been writing with Liz Rose.
You did some country collabs.
What's your relationship with country music? How did you come to be in this genre?
I didn't grow up listening to country music. So I think I started really listening to country music maybe a year or two after I moved to Nashville. And just by being around it and by going to shows and concerts and having friends have it on all the time. And it became the soundtrack to my life here. And I found a real appreciation for it because it wasn't something that I was raised on. And then I started feeling like my music really fit in the country genre. Like, it has that organic acoustic sound, and my songwriting is like storytelling. And so I would hear people say that they thought I was in that genre. And so I really felt like just by getting to be in Nashville, getting the influence of everything around me and loving the beautiful instruments that are in country music, like the steel guitar and the dobro and the banjo, and combining it with my sound and my style, I just was having so much fun with it. And Liz Rose, I've been writing with forever, probably like 13 years. And it's really cool. I got to give her and Taylor their first Grammys when they won. Then I wrote with Liz like soon after that. And she has a couple songs on my previous albums. And then she wrote half this record with me. She was my therapist, for real.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
We love Liz Rose on this podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Before we move on completely from Taylor, I do want to ask, how was the re-recording process like for Breathe? Was there attention to detail, or did you send over harmonies, or what was that process like?
Yeah, so I went to a studio here in Nashville. They had everything set up, and I just, sang my part similar to how we recorded it. What year was that? Was that in 2009, I think, or 2008? Yeah.
Yeah, Fearless was released in 2008. So I don't know when you recorded it, but it was before November of 2008.
So I did my vocal again, redid my harmony, and it was a very simple and easy process.
Was the focus on making it sound exactly like the original?
I kept it pretty similar. Yeah.
I want to keep it classic.
Yeah. People love the song, how they're used to hearing it too. People, even when you sing live, I do like to veer off sometimes, but I know when I listen to an artist, like, I want to hear it the way I love singing it on the record for the most part.
Sometimes I love when it's exactly the same. And sometimes, I saw Rick Springfield, for example, doing an all acoustic gig. And that was great because I got to hear everything very differently.
Like Acoustic Jesse's Girl, I think would be awesome.
Yeah. It slapped. Yeah. Acoustic. And I'm I'm obsessed with acoustic guitars.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you do the Will You Count Me In? Like, do you do that on stage?
I like rarely. I used to do it more. Sometimes the audience will say it, but I should start saying it more. I don't know. I feel like
we love it.
It's like the most famous like outtake left in a song example that I can think of.
Which is funny because I totally like fought against it. I was like, no, please don't keep that in. It's embarrassing.
No, I think it sets up the song really well. It's like you're just chilling, like we're just listening to a jam session or something. I like it.
When I produced it, that was a great call on his part. But so I like to keep most of my songs similar to the record when I perform, but there's a couple songs that I fully change, but I do it intentionally. So my song Magic on my first album, Coco, I love
that song.
Stripped down piano version of it, and it's way more like soaring vocals. It's not that acoustic folky version, and I love it because it's so different. It's like, I don't know, just a piano ballad. I feel like I can sing more with it, but that was very intentional.
Nice. It's like a show exclusive kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
The process of creating the songs in the studio is also like its own specific kind of magic. And you worked with Max Martin and Ryan Tedder on previous albums. How is bringing your energy into that kind of style? Because I see it as like those were not collabs that you would necessarily have in mind for like Colbie Caillat, but like you made them work and you came out with great songs.
Thank you. Yeah. And, at the beginning of my career, I just wrote with Jason Reeves and Michael Blue, and it was very casual in like my backyard in California. And it was just a natural way of writing. And I knew them. And then it started being, for my second album, I would have these scheduled writing sessions with these big producers and writers that I was super nervous and like I was kind of reluctant to do because I just didn't feel comfortable being vulnerable with strangers. And then I loved it. And then they became great friends and people that I worked with for years. And so I was like, okay, don't be so closed-minded to it. You learn from all the writers and you learn from every different writing session and process. And some of it's with the acoustic guitar, some of it's with the track playing, some of it's with the microphone on, and you're just with a band in the room. So I started learning all these different ways that you can write a song. And then when it was writing with Max and Babyface and Ryan Tedder too, but Ryan, he's so brilliant and creative and so much energy and so many ideas. And then Max, he has a team of writers. So I got to work with a lot of them, and Max will come in and out and he'll give his ideas and he'll give suggestions and give you, confetti on what he loves about the song. And so, that was a totally different writing process as well. And so I'm glad I was able to do it, and I was able to branch out a bit, but also still keep the integrity of my style for the fans that liked it.
I love that you can even make acoustic songs like Brighter Than the Sun so poppy and fun and like radio friendly. But then also it's like my most played songs of yours are all off of the iTunes session that you did back in 2009, 2010 or something like that.
You probably heard the Magic version on there then, the piano Magic version. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel when fans and artists are influenced by you and let you know that?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, with fans all the time, they'll either say that they started writing songs or learning how to play guitar. And a lot of times it's super young, where I didn't learn till I was like 19 how to play guitar. And that's when I first started writing. And it's amazing when I hear that they're like 7 or 14 or, 10 years old, whatever age. And they're getting inspired at that age. Like I was inspired to be a singer from Lauryn Hill when I was like 10, and to know that I can be that for someone that's just starting out and influence them with being a songwriter or a musician or singing. And then, when I get to work with other artists and people that I've been fans of, and they'll tell me that my music has been a part of their life too. Like, you have no idea that you're a part of someone's life. And when they share that with you, it feels really special.
Yeah. The Lauren connection I can see with like Killing Me Softly and all that kind of stuff too. Like I'm connecting all the dots now again for the iTunes session.
Yep.
I want to know what has been your favorite song that you've ever written.
That's tough. I will say Bubbly is one of them because it was actually like effortless, and I felt really proud that like I wrote majority of that song like by myself in a matter of like 20 minutes, and it was all accidental. Like someone had tuned my guitar. My friend, I left a not a writing session, a jam night with friends, and they tuned my guitar to a different tuning. When I got home, I was so new at guitar. I had no idea how to tune it back, like so amateur, but yet because of all of that, I heard 3 pretty chords that I found and I wrote Bubbly. And the fact that that was the song that my friend put on MySpace and gave me a career, it just feels so special. So that one I really am the most proud of. But then there's other ones that are like the ones that help your heart heal through life and everything. That I Never Told You is probably one of my favorites. And it's one of my favorites to sing.
That is my favorite of yours. That is my favorite of yours. I love it. It's so good.
Do you find that you usually push your favorites as singles, or are they usually just like tucked into different corners of the album?
A lot of times they're more of like the singer-songwritery ones that are my favorites that aren't, going to be pushed to radio. So I'm always happy when I hear that someone likes it. But I was really grateful that I Never Told You was a single and that it did react the way that it did, because it was a really meaningful song and it's so much fun to sing. Like, some of them aren't as fun to sing, but that one is.
Now we have time to play a little game called First Time for Everything. So we're going to ask you some music related first time questions, and then you can take us right down memory lane.
Okay.
So who was the first artist that inspired you to make music?
Definitely Lauryn Hill, Fleetwood Mac, and John Mayer.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Did your dad work on the Fleetwood Mac?
He did.
Yeah. Someone said that the other day, and I was like, wait, what? Like, my mind was blown.
Which one?
On Rumors and Tusk.
On Rumors and... Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And Mirage too. He worked on a bunch of them with them. So yeah.
I also want to know the first time you heard your song on the radio.
I'm pretty sure it was, besides like when you're going to visit the radio station, they'll play it and like you hear that for the first time. Like, naturally, I was at this restaurant called Sagebrush Cantina in Calabasas, California, like right where I'm from. And that's the place we'd always go every Sunday for brunch as the family. And Bubbly came on, and we were there with everyone, and my mom like gets up and is just like singing it and like telling everyone it's me. And I remember thinking like, it's so cool. I was at the restaurant I grew up going to, and now my song was playing over the radio in front of everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing, or was it like just kind of like hearing it in the background and you're like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. See, I get more shy and I'm more like, this is cool. But mom, like, stop, this is embarrassing. But ultimately, when I look back, I'm like, why wouldn't I just get up and be like, that's cool? But I kept it pretty reserved.
Kept it cool.
Yeah. Next time you go. Next time. When they're playing Worth It.
Yeah.
Also, what's the first album you bought?
I think it was Jamiroquai. Personally, I mean, I think that's the one, like, I think my parents bought me records and all that when I was younger, but I think that's the one otherwise, like, Lauryn Hill was probably my first. Miseducation was probably my first one.
What is the first song you covered?
Well, I mean, I sang Killing Me Softly in my school talent show. I sang Mariah Carey Hero at one of like my 6th grade talent show.
I love that one.
Oh, I can see that.
And, I do Bob Marley, Turn Your Lights Down Low, the Bob Marley, Lauryn Hill version. And I think I did a Fleetwood Mac song, Beautiful Child. I think that's the one, maybe the first one I sang. Yeah.
Lastly, what was the first music video that made an impression on you?
I just remember in high school, Destiny's Child, and thinking they were so cool. I know.
They are so cool.
I love your music taste because it's so not what you would expect from your music. But now I can trace it back and be like, I understand where that comes from, that soulfulness.
That's good. Yeah, no, I just remember seeing them, one of their videos, and they looked so beautiful. And I think that's the one that like sticks out that I remember the most.
And now we've come to the last part of our show, which is our top 5. So Molly and I have prepared our top 5 duets of all time.
Okay, so my number 5, a lot of these are country, and that seems to be a theme for this episode. No one does it like a country duet.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So true.
With that being said, number 5 is not country. It's JP Saxe and Julia Michaels, If the World Was Ending.
I love that one.
I love that song so much.
Julia Michaels has some great duets.
She does, and I just love her as a songwriter too. Like every single song that I've loved for the past like 5 years, I can look on Wikipedia and Julia Michaels will have a songwriting credit on it. I'm like, everything she touches turns to gold in my eyes.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
And also literally like RIAA certified gold.
Yeah. Number 4 is Elle King and Miranda Lambert with Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home. I love that one. It's so fun.
I love that song.
Yes.
You showed me that song.
Did I? Banger. Okay. Number 3 is Reba McEntire's cover of Because of You with Kelly Clarkson. It's an incredible duet, like back in the day. It was like in 2005 or something, but it was so good. And it was one of the first ones that, like, when AJ told me what the top 5 was, like, that popped into my head. And so it needed a place on the list. All right. Number 2, Beyonce and the Chicks with Daddy Lessons.
Yes.
So good.
I love
and
that.
I love that they incorporated Long Time Gone in it too, which is a chick song. And then my number 1 is a cover that Niall Horan and Fletcher did in the BBC Live Lounge, their cover of Lover. I think that song works perfectly as a duet. It's the Taylor Swift song, by the way, for those of you who...
Yeah.
It just works really, really well as a duet, and I love their voices together and their chemistry together in the song. So that's my top 5.
Those are great duets. And I just was remembering I've been, for whatever, how long it's been out now, maybe a couple years, the Julia Michaels and Niall Horan, What a Time duet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That song is gorgeous. And like, oh my God, going through breakup or, you know, you're just like, it rips your heart out and makes you feel like you're not alone. And their vocals are beautiful. The production's perfect. That's one that has been on repeat for me.
Genre-wise, my list is all over the place. My number 5 is Dirty Love by Kesha and Iggy Pop. It's a great, like, rock song. It's one of my favorite Kesha songs. It's just, like, full, like, stadium anthem rock. My number 4 is actually Liz Gillies and Ariana Grande, Give It Up from Victorious.
I was thinking about that too, AJ. I almost put it on.
I would have loved if it made both of our lists. It's just one of those songs that, like, it's a shame almost that it was given to a children's TV show because it just deserved to be a number 1 hit. Like, it's so good. And then obviously that was like everyone's introduction to Ariana Grande. I mean, aside from 13 the musical, that was like the first song where she had a solo and it was on TV. And
I feel the same way about He Could Be the One from Hannah Montana. That song is so good. And if it wasn't given to Hannah Montana, if it was given to like any other pop girly at the time, it would have been a smash.
Yeah. So my number 3 is another country song. It's Noah Cyrus and Leon Bridges, July. Oh, also, I totally just remembered now, but there are so many good ones between Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett that I could have included.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love those albums,
too. They have a full album.
2. They have 2 now.
2? I didn't know that.
And they're so good, yeah. They're all covers, though.
Right.
So my number 2 is Take Me or Leave Me from Rent. Yes. Idina Menzel and Tracy Toms.
AJ, you're giving me life with this list.
This list is inspired by Lucky, really. Like, I had that in mind where I was like, Take Me or Leave Me, it's just all harmonies.
Yeah.
You know, July, it's all harmonies. Give It Up, all harmonies. And then my number 1 is an R&B duet. It's the FaceTime remix with Ari Lennox and Durand Bernard. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just one of those perfect, like, remixes where Durand just adds so much, and I love that his voice is like way lower than mine will ever be and way higher than mine will ever be. Like, his range is just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And it's just, I listen to it and I like want to cry. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good.
I got to check a lot of these out. I haven't heard some of them.
Well, thank you so much, Colbie, for coming on the show.
Of course.
I really appreciate you being here. If people want to find you on social media, where should they go?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Colbie Caillat. I think all my socials are my name, and colbiecaillat.com has everything on there for shows, tour dates, everything.
There you go. And thank you to Noah for the theme music for this episode. And make sure to rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on right now. Thanks, Molly, for being on as a guest host, and we will see you on the next episode.